Welcome to my chemistry class today. I believe you are happy today. Now let's see. Today we are going to talk about oxidation number. When we are talking about oxidation number, we are talking about the charge on the valency of an element. The charge, maybe plus, maybe minus, on the valency of an element. So that is what the oxidation number. Now, let's see some few calculations on it. Calculate the oxidation state. They can say oxidation state, they can say oxidation number of Cr. We call it chromium, sulfur, carbon in the following compounds. So here you have chromium. You calculate the oxidation number of chromium in this compound. Here you have carbon. Here you have sulfur. So the middle elements are what you have to calculate. So now let's see how it goes. Oxidation number. There are some few elements that are very important that you need to know their oxidation number. Like oxygen, oxidation number of oxygen is -2 at all time. Chlorine is -1. Potassium is +1. Sodium is +1. Magnesium is +2. Aluminium is +3. There are some elements like that. Calcium is +2. It depends on the compound you find hydrogen. Sometimes it can be like hydrogen can be +1 or -1, depending on the compound. So, like in this case, it is going to be +1. So I have given you what you should know. Know these. So when you observe this, when you note all of these, by the time they ask you to calculate the oxidation number of anything, it will be very simple for you. Like now, number one, let's see potassium K2Cr2O7. They said you should calculate the oxidation number of this. So here you are told that K is what? +1. Times how many? 2. So that +1 times these 2, since there are 2 there. Add it to the chromium that you don't know. Chromium are how many here? 2. I would rather put the 2 there. Plus add to that one oxygen, which is what? Oxygen I said is -2. I will separate the plus and the -2. But how many atoms of oxygen are here? 7. So that means times 7. This substance has no charge or plus or minus, no charge. When you have plus or minus, you equate it to that number, that value, that charge. But since it is 0, no charge, you equate it to 0. So now multiply this. You have +2 plus 2Cr plus times minus 2 times 7, 14. Equate it to 0. Now when you get up to this level, take this and this to this other side. Allow only this to remain here. That's collection of like term. So I will say Cr, that's 2Cr equal to, taking this across this sign of equality, it becomes what? +14. Now taking 2 plus 2 across the sign of equality to this side, it becomes minus 2. So your 2CR becomes plus 14 minus 2, 16. Sorry, 12. Now plus 12. They did not ask us to calculate 2CR, but they said 2. So divide both sides by 2. So you now have CR equal to plus 12 all over 2. Your CR will now be plus 6. So if you are to name that compound, you should start because it's primary compound. Mention this first, jump to this before you end here. So that will give us potassium, oxygen becomes oxo. How many? 7. 7 means what? Hepta. Hepta oxo. Hepta oxo. How many? Chromate. 2. We say 2 is what? Dichromate. Dichromate. Chromate what? We calculated 6. Dichromate 6. Okay, that's for number 1. Number 2, calcium, they are giving us CaCO3. CaCO3. So they said we should calculate what? Carbon. So I would say Ca here is what? Plus 2. So if you don't note all this, you will be lacking behind. Plus what? Carbon has more than one oxidation number. So we don't know the one that it has here. Now you put carbon plus oxygen, I told you is what? At all time, minus 2 times 3. Equate it to 0. 2 plus C minus 6 equal to 0. C, take this to this side, it becomes plus 6. Take this to that side, it becomes minus 2. Your C will now be equal to plus 4. And the name is calcium trioxo. 3 means tri. Oxo. Oxygen turns to oxo. Trioxo carbonate. Carbonate what? Carbonate 4. Some students, instead of writing 4 this way, they would rather write it this way. Instead of writing 6 this way, they would rather write it this way. You are wrong. Okay, so let's see the last question there. I will clean this, please. H has 3, H2SO4. So remember I said H can be plus 1 or minus 1, but in this case it's what? Plus 1 times 2. Plus what? Sulfur you don't know. Plus minus 2 times 4 equal to 0. Then plus 2 here, multiply this. Plus sulfur minus this times this 8 equal to 0. Now let's take these two men to this other side. So we now have S equal to plus 8 minus 2. Your S is equal to plus 6. It is an acid. So since hydrogen stands first, it is an acid. So when mentioning the name, leave the hydrogen. Start from here. And that is what? Tetra, the number of oxygen. Tetra, oxo, sulfate, 6, acid. You put acid last. So that's that. Okay, this is just the surface. Now I want to give you another question. So let's see this question. Question number 2. They have given you this reaction. They said in the equation above, oxidation number of ion from the reactant to the product changes from this to this, this to this, this to this, this to this. No change in oxidation number. So where is iron? This is iron. This is iron. So how to solve this problem is for you to find out the oxidation number of iron here and find out the oxidation number of iron here. So if by where you say solution, now let me start with the reactant. FeCl2. I don't bother about the balancing, the two behind them. So just find the oxidation number of ion. You don't know it here. Plus Cl. Remember, I told you earlier that Cl is always minus 1. How many are there? 2. No charge, equated to 0. So now work out this. You now say Fe minus, this times this is minus 2 times 2. So equate it to 0. By the time you take it across to this side, you now have Fe equal to plus 2. Do same to this. So you can see that this is for the reactant. This is for the reactant. Then let's see the product. FeCl3. Now Fe plus minus 1 times 3 equated to 0. Fe minus 1 times 3, 3 equal to 0. Fe, take this to this side, you have equal to plus 3. This is for the product. So reactant, you have plus 2. Product, you have plus 3. Check whether you have something like that. C is correct. C is correct. So I believe you have enjoyed the class. Let me give you something to do. Okay, the assignment mention the change in oxidation number of zinc and copper from the reactant to the product in the equations below. So the two equations are here. So from the reactant to the product, what is expected of you? Tell me for zinc, this is the reactant, zinc in the product. If it is oxidation number, if it has oxidation number of 1 and here is 5, just tell me for zinc 1 to 5. If this is 10 and this is 20, you say for copper 10 to 20. simple. Just calculate them the way we did in the previous examples. Give me the oxidation number of here, and that of this one, that of this one, and that of this one. That's what I need from you. See you some other time. I believe you have enjoyed the class. Keep following the channel. Thank you.